My friends, no matter how independent you are, you serve some sort of a master. Our lives are guided by something, someone, or some idea we hold at the forefront of our very minds. This is an idea many people are wildly uncomfortable with, especially in the Western world. After century upon century of developing a culture that values independence and freedom, the idea of a master tastes bitter on our tongues. A master in this sense is something that controls you. It can be nearly anything. It can be a person, a dream, an ambition, or a vision. It can be religious or worldly. It can be a personal or a collective view, something that has been passed down to you through the generations, or something that you developed within your own mind. And so, my friends, today I want to present to you a simple question. Who or what is your master? This is a question that deserves only the most serious reflection and reverence. It is one of those rare questions in which the answer will guide the course of everything else our life entails. When we answer who or what our master is, that's something that we all need to understand the deeper meaning of. If you tell me that your master is God, or education, or friends, or family members, you're telling me that that is the focal point of your very existence. That is the axis on which everything else in your life will turn. One of the best people I know is my grandmother. Although I never asked her this question personally, I know her answer of who or what her master is would most certainly be God or Jesus. She's a very religious person and puts into practice everything that she preaches. By saying God is her master, she is practicing more than just preaching. You can see it through everything that she does. She's compassionate, understanding, empathetic, and very polite in all of her interactions. Another person I think of is a friend I went to high school with. He's a good man, and I believe if I were to ask him who or what his master is, he would most certainly say his family. Not a day goes by in which he doesn't tell them that he loves them. Not a day goes by in which he doesn't try to spend time with his kids. These are the people we should try to emulate in some fashion. They embody what is right with the world, carrying with them traits that can best be described as selfless, because that is what they decided to put at the focal point of their life. That is the master that they decided to serve. But there are, unfortunately, a variety of masters that are not so selfless. They lend themselves to some of the worst impulses in the human psyche. They eat away at our desires to help one another. Many of us are inherently altruistic, wanting to help one another for reasons other than personal gain. But when we serve these masters of selfishness, we see those natural tendencies dissipate quickly. The masters of greed, hate, anger, discontentment, laziness, materialism, loathing, tyranny, unchecked power, and gluttony have consumed so many lives throughout the centuries, each person thinking they could find more satisfaction in hating rather than loving, in taking rather than giving. This is not a self-help doctrine that can be easily forgotten as soon as we stop listening. This is the core of everything you and I are. Every time we see a good person punished wrongly, those negative thoughts are going to try to seep into our brain. Every time we see a lazy person rewarded unfairly, those negative impulses are going to try to take over. Every child sent to the hospital for conditions that they have no control over, those negative thoughts are going to try to put themselves at the forefront of our mind. These negative ideas are in our ears, whispering quite often, pointing out the flaws of our world, saying that there's no point in trying to make the world a better place because there are so many bad things that are going on all around us. So many bad people who are in it only for their own self-gain and for their own self-advancement. And for many of these voices, unfortunately, they can lead a lot of people into a depressive state of nihilism. A lot of people can look at the world and say that there's no point in serving ideas of selflessness because they see so many other people serving ideas that are much more selfish, much more self-absorbed, and unfortunately, that can cause a lot of people to not want to do good things and think that there's no point in making good choices. These problems of the world will tell you to serve their masters because it makes no difference in the end, as they see it, because you won't be rewarded for doing good things. Though these are common themes in modern times, I believe this frames the issues of the world in the wrong light. What most people fail to understand is that we all have our own little section of earth in which we can influence, so we might as well make the best of it. We can either transform what we have control over and turn it into something good, turn it into something worthy of having been in our care, Or we can make our little area of life, our little area of the world, into something that is a monstrosity, into something that's continuously degenerating into something worse and worse forever and ever, or at least until we're dead and someone else has to clean up the mess we created. When we think in grand schemes, we can often make ourselves feel smaller than we actually are. Even though it is true that we are very limited in our abilities to help others on a global scale, it is equally true that we are able to have a massive impact on those around us, the people that are in our lives, our communities, our families, our friends. If you don't believe me, that's genuinely fine, but think of your own life as an example, and I think you'll understand more easily where I'm coming from. You are a human being, presumably in a network of dozens, scores, hundreds, and even thousands of other humans. There had to have been at least one person whose help and attention made your life better in some capacity. Because you remember them and their work, because you can point to someone in your life that has helped you through the work that they have done for you in some capacity, we all have an obligation to do the same for the next person in line. Even if your work won't be appreciated by the thousands of peoples that are all over your community, and even if it won't be appreciated by people all over the world, your small acts of kindness are going to be appreciated by the one person or by the few people that you are able to help. And for that reason, we are all obligated to serve those masters of selflessness, to serve those masters of being better people for ourselves and for those all around us. And so, my friends, I ask you again, who is your master? What are you serving? Are you serving something that helps others? Are you serving someone that is truly, genuinely a good person? Are you serving an ambition that's motivated by more than self-aggrandizement? Only you can answer these questions. No one else can speak for where your mind is at. Only you can look into your heart and see if what you're doing is genuinely worth the attention that you're giving it. If your master isn't selfless, your life will not be as fruitful and useful as it would otherwise. We need to surround ourselves with the kind of people that serve masters we can respect. We need to communicate our goals clearly to others in order to convey our true emotions and our desires to be better, to do better, to make a meaningful difference in the world, something that's going to impact the lives of others and leave a positive impact on the world once we're gone. My friend, our masters are important conceptualizations. We will all do well to have candid conversations with ourselves about who and what we serve, about what we are putting at the center of our lives. Hold our masters to judgment of ethical and moral rights and wrongs, and this world is going to be a significantly better place. Whether we realize it or not, whether we know it or not, the masters that we serve are going to impact the decisions that we make and the kind of life that we are going to lead. My friends, thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you.